So, Brian, she's smiling at you. I asked Melissa to join us today. First of all, because you don't get to see her enough and she misses you.
It's never enough for you, is it? There is never enough.
Maybe it's not enough for you. I think
You. But last few episodes ago, which we can look to see what episode number that was, we talked about falling.
Yes.
Just like a couple initial
thoughts.
And like how can you prevent it and
Yes.
things like that. And so we talked about exercise. And then, interestingly enough, there's somebody in Central Ohio who was doing a course or a class called Fearless Falling.
Fearless Falling.
Fearless Falling.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of falling, fearless.
Yeah, Fearless Falling.
So I wanted her to come and talk about that because I did miss that class, and it looks like you have some.
And I have some toys to share.
Fun tools.
What's a podcast without toys?
Yeah. Welcome to The Secret Life of Parkinson's, a podcast created by people living with Parkinson's to help break the stigma of a disease no one likes to talk about. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Krauser and Brian Baker.
So the class is called Fearless Falling, and it's run by Mike Grigsby. And he came and did a little demo for us. Mm-hmm. And he started just by saying, like, back to the basics. So, like, when we talked our last podcast, we talked about going back to the basics. Would you stop staring at me? That looks really creepy. Blink.
At least his eyes are open.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes he, like, squints them.
Oh, okay. So we went back to the basics, check your vision, check your hearing, check your surroundings. Well, his first thing is, when you're walking, pay attention. Simple, right?
Simple things.
You know what? This might be a good lead-in to something you might want to share with the group.
Please share, Brian.
What did I feel?
About paying attention.
I was in a hurry walking to the Uber.
Wait, back up. Where were you?
I was in downtown Chicago, right crossing Michigan Avenue.
So in an unfamiliar area.
We were like a block away from the Uber, so I'm sure I was trying to walk faster than I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And my feet.
Were you carrying anything, or?
Yes, I had my leftovers.
Your leftovers.
Yes, I had bags of leftovers and
bags of leftovers, not just one bag.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened?
And I fell. Face first, no hands.
Did you trip on a curb?
I think as the sidewalk inclines for wheelchair, like the wheelchair ramp, I was walking up that, and I think I just caught like a little bump or something like that.
Was it dark?
Oh yeah, it was nighttime, but it was downtown, so.
So was the food safe?
The food was safe. I did eat that
First
later
things
on.
first, did you save your leftovers?
Yeah, but I went down. I hit face first with my chin.
Yeah, you knocked yourself pretty good.
Yeah.
And
you're lucky that was.
That was it.
My glasses went flying. I was more embarrassed than anything else. I think it was kind of scary. Jump right back up. People were trying to help me. Like, no, I'm okay.
You know, you're not supposed to jump right back up.
Which is what we talked about in the last podcast.
But when you're in that moment,
right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm highly injured, it's just like a reaction to.
Well, that's why I think these, like, I don't know if it's classes or at least just talking about it and being aware of it are important. And I was talking to somebody about this before of, just being a patient and being proactive in the things that we're doing, such as, exercising. And, I don't always participate in even like, voice exercises or balance exercises because I'm like, I'm not there yet. Mm-hmm. But then I started realizing I need to at least practice or be aware of it now because at some point it might or will be an issue.
Yep.
And like knowing, like your gut instinct is to jump up and,
right back
but
up.
like as much as I know now, I think. I don't know. I don't know what my instinct would be, but I think that's what we're trying to adjust.
Yeah, except for me, it was more of a natural instinct to hurry and get up, and it was like,
right, because it's
like,
a pride
hey,
thing.
We're all here,
I'm fine.
Yeah, fine. Meanwhile, my chin is
gushing
like
blood.
When you fell into the pickleball net.
Yes, I've fallen a few times. You've seen me in that. Sometimes
but you did do a good thing from what you shared. You did bring because you literally could have like I said, knocked out teeth.
I saw the ground coming around
quickly.
my face, and I lifted my head
which
up
is one of the tips that this gentleman shares in his class.
Yeah, so
pretend you're a baby because babies have that instinct when they fall, they bring their head up.
Yeah.
So You must have some instincts.
Some baby instincts.
But so that is like I don't want to say a typical fall, but that's like a natural, like anybody can trip over something and you go face forward.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing, I think I didn't even have time to get my hands out. Like usually you put your hands out to try and break the fall. I mean, this one I just went straight down.
That's because was it bradykinesia? Is that what it's called? The slowness of movement?
Yeah, the bradykinesia.
Yeah. Bradykinesia. Like you could just be slow.
It could be
like how my arm is always back here, and the kids are like, "What's your arm doing?" I'm like, "Oh, just didn't come along with me yet." But is there a difference of like how you handle falling with, like I said, like with the tripping situation or like stumbling over your feet versus there are people who fall backwards?
Right, the retropulsion, which you'll talk to any neurologist, any physical therapist and stuff. And a lot of people, because we have a couple of people at the gym that have retropulsion when it's not even like tripping. It's just standing there and all of a sudden
you start going back.
Yeah.
Didn't Dr. Patel say that's a sign of
advanced Parkinson's?
Or I thought it was dystonia more. Like he's like there was something that I thought he said in that.
Dystonia?
There's something like there.
Isn't dystonia like the curling?
Yeah. I don't know. We need to ask him. We'll table that for him.
What does Cher have? Cher has
dystonia. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that.
It could be.
I thought that's what he said. It was a sign, like falling backwards is a sign of having that versus having Parkinson's. I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't be the case anyway. But back to you and your fall. So again, well, according to this gentleman, it takes 80 to 100 times to practice something before it becomes like a motor pattern, like an actual pattern in your brain. But anyway, so now I'm going back to your fall. So 1, you were in an unfamiliar place. 2, it was nighttime. 3, you were in a hurry. 4, you had something in your hand. So
5, I also had a couple drinks.
And 5, you also okay.
And now it comes
out. So let's just put it all out there.
Okay, so let's minus the fact that you had some drinks. Anyway, so in those situations, paying attention, probably if you had the ability to have someone carry your stuff because you are in an unfamiliar area and not hurrying. I mean, I know you had to, slowing down. And
I guess I would actually, and this is something else that we're going to talk about at some point this year is like travel tips.
Yeah.
It's almost like, if you are traveling to an unfamiliar place, like be conscious of the fact that, or tell your spouse or caregiver or friends or whoever you're going with to say, when we're walking on the streets, can you make sure that you're the one carrying the bags or doing this or that, just so I can fully focus
on what I'm doing.
But let them know that ahead of time maybe. And
well, and it's hard too. I mean, I can imagine, I can't say that because I'm not living with Parkinson's, but I'm sure at some point, I mean, especially for like you guys, like it's hard to ask for that. Like when you're perfectly capable of walking and carrying something, you're like,
you just don't think of it.
Right. So this is the time to start thinking of it and practicing, pay attention. And then he suggests the Tai Chi walking, which is just a really slow, like heel toe kind of diagonal. And that, I mean, you can do that with your arms. It looks cool. But
did you ever do Tai Chi?
I have not done Tai Chi.
It's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
And there's a practice to it. So, I mean, you have to be like...
Yeah.
You have to
a lot of people do it for like almost meditation.
Right.
Too. I mean, I did it... actually, I think before I was diagnosed, and again, the doctor was saying, you're just stressed and anxious. And I was talking to other people and they're like, oh, try Tai Chi. So I did, and I tried it for a while.
Yeah, we've had a couple people at the gym that have done a class. Mm-hmm. So, but it's something you have to continue practice. You can't take like an 8-week session and be like, oh, I know Tai Chi now, and then forget it.
You're a black belt in Tai Chi.
Yeah. And then the last tip he said was, where your head goes, your body will follow. So as we always talk about, look forward, not down. And I had to do the same thing. I mean, it's like as we get older, we want to look down. I've had this with my mom recently. I'm like, Mom, where your head goes, your body will follow, because she's walking down. So eyes forward,
eyes up here.
Yeah, not down there.
Yeah. So what kind of toys do you bring with you?
Oh, you want to talk about my toys?
Yes.
Okay. So I think last time we did mention this, and I didn't have it with me. So now I have it with me. So this can be a little show and tell. This is the door assist that you can use when you're getting out of the car, because we talked about someone that gets up out of the car. I think your friend's mom or something.
Yeah.
She gets out, every time she gets out of the car, she falls. So, not saying this will prevent a fall, but you put this, so you open your door, there's a little latch right where the door comes together. You stick that in there. It's a nice support thing. And you can use it to push up.
So wait, say that again. So that you have the door.
Here is the door.
Yeah.
So if you are driving, okay, so I'm driving. I open my door, okay, right by the door. Like, think your seatbelt's up here. The door, where the door closes, is right here. There's a little...
Oh, that little metal hook thingy
the little
goes
metal
in.
hook thingy,
Yeah,
yes.
you have that
This
back-
goes
you have-
right
you-
in here.
You have that
And
backwards, though. It would go the other
Okay.
way.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. So anyway, you hook that in the metal part and use this as a support to help you push yourself out. It also can be used as a glass breaker.
I was just going to say, like, is that...
Or a weapon.
What's that called?
It's called, I think it's called Door Assist. $10 on Amazon.
Okay.
Some of them come in a 2-pack and they have different colors. But yes, it's an easy thing. I have a couple in my car when I help my mom. And I have a couple, well, I have one at the gym if anybody ever needs one. But it's super easy. I'm sure they have them in other stores too. Door Assist.
Put it on a keychain.
It's pretty. And then this toy.
I like
the
that
Quicker
one.
Picker Upper. So this is, and I can't remember the exact name for it. We'll link it. We can link it, right?
Yeah.
We'll link it in the notes. But this helps.
Actually, you sent it to me one time, but go ahead, talk about it.
Yes. So when you're, if someone is seated and having a hard time, this is good for couches or anything. If you're like low back, like sunk down in and stuff, someone can stand here on this side.
Do it.
You want to help?
Yeah.
I didn't know if
Do
Steve
you want me
could
to?
give.
Well, you'll just bear with us for a minute.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull me up, or do
I'll
you?
pull you up.
Okay.
Okay. So the person you'll see here. And so what we'll do is the count. So I'll say on the count of 3, Jess, I'm going to pull you up. All right?
All right. 1,
2, 3.
And
Ta-da.
I was like dead weight. So.
Yeah. So it just makes it a lot easier. Now I did brace myself. I always put a leg behind me just because it gives me more stability. But it's really good for anybody. Like I said, sometimes we get into a couch or a cushy chair that it's really hard, or people will avoid sitting in chairs and stuff like that because of that. It's hard to get out of. So also people have purchased this for getting up out of bed in the morning because some people have a hard time getting out of bed.
Yeah, I sent this to my friend who's my age and has ALS. It's called the Able Life Handy Handle
Able
Lift
Life
Assist.
Handy Handle Assist.
Yeah, but again, we'll put a link on it because I honestly because she was having trouble, getting. I mean, she wasn't 100% fully wheelchair bound at that point, but she was just to get up to have somebody pull her up. And I told her about this and she's like, oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, one of the care partners shared it with our group and I think everybody in that meeting ordered it.
Yeah.
There's 3 different colors. I mean, it's less than $20.
Everybody else.
I know. You can get it in red,
colors.
blue, or white. But everybody has found great. I mean, it's really is. I've used it, like I said, with my mom and I have one at the gym. So handy dandy little tools.
So what other tips does he have on falling?
Yeah, tell us what else.
Well, interestingly enough, which I never heard this before, it takes 3/4 of a second to actually complete a fall. So, did you feel that way?
I would
when you fell?
disagree with that.
yeah,
but
yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
how that.
when you
Maybe
s-
that's the average fall.
yeah, I mean, we need to get some mats in the gym and practice falling.
Yeah.
Well, actually, isn't that what they do? You practice falling?
80 to 100 times. This course is 6 weeks. I think one of them's 8 weeks because they can only meet once a week or something. But it's the repetitive nature of it that gets people. So he says when you fall backwards, you actually want to practice sitting. So like he made the example, if you're walking downstairs, that can be scary for a lot of us. So if you kind of lose your balance, just sit. Same way with, I guess, falling backwards, just standing. Maybe the retropulsion, just work on just sitting. So he's sit down, round your lower back. The closer you can get to the ground, the better.
I'm short.
Yes.
See, I knew there was a reason for
Winner!
that.
Yeah. Look at him. He's like, yeah, I'm sure.
All you tall people that take that.
Yeah. And then if you trip and go forward, he called it slap the cheese, which is funny when you think about it. But instead of, we have the instinct to extend our arms.
No,
which
we don't.
Okay, well,
You hold your food.
yeah. Protect the food and your teeth. But most people will, do that, break a wrist, injure their shoulder. But he says, if you can fall this way and have the forearm right here hit, you might get injured, but it's not going to be as bad. Yeah, so he calls it slap the cheese. So fall like that. And that's what they practice. They practice making that noise.
Slapping the cheese.
Slap the cheese. Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting. But again, just practicing and all those basic tips. Pay attention.
Don't hurry.
Don't hurry. And if you're in an unfamiliar area, you can try that Tai Chi walking, the heel toe. But really, the heel toe walking is what we should all do anyway, right? Like heel toe. But this is like a diagonal and keeping eyes forward.
So tell me again though, like what should people do like that fall backwards? Like I understand like the, rolling your back or sitting down, but like how often do they do that, or what else can they do?
He recommends to kind of go with the flow. So sit back and then roll. So if you can train yourself to kind of sit down, get as close as you can to the ground, and then roll.
Like, is it better? Because I've seen individuals doing it, and they'll like go back, and then they might finally catch themselves.
Yeah.
Is that better, or is that worse than just, if you feel it, just sit your butt down and roll to the side? Do you know?
I don't know, because I know what you're speaking of, but I don't know if they can stop. I don't know if it's, from what I've heard, that retropulsion, she, like the one person in our gym that experiences it, she'll say she just can't stop. So I don't know if actually sitting is, can
she do it? Yeah.
Can she do it? Or is it just something she has to wait till she hasn't, I don't know. That's a great question. But. And
then for those that, you have like a weird stare on your face.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Melissa talk about falling. I got watery eye. Just leave me alone.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You guys are going to make me cry.
Spot.
You're okay.
Yeah, you're okay. And we are glad you're okay from your fall, truly. Because that could have been really bad.
Yeah.
But for people, though, like, that trip like that, and again, it's anybody can trip like that.
Yeah.
Did he say anything specific of, like, doing what we do with exercises of, like, making sure your constantly,
feet, right? Yeah,
like,
pick your
training
feet up.
your feet to
lift up off the floor. He did mention that, lifting your feet up off the floor. It's just
a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I got it. Like, I was walking around the house, like, and especially in the morning or at night when I'm the only one awake, and I can hear my right foot just like shuffle, and I'm like, ugh. And then I try and pick it up, and it feels like I feel stupid.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and I'm like, it's just like an awkward. It's like those videos of dogs when you put socks on their paws.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they walk around like this. That's literally how I feel when I'm trying to pick up my right leg.
Then you hear your feet.
Yeah, and I sound like my kids pounding on the floor. So okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So hopefully we'll have more on falling of different things.
Just keep working on paying attention, keeping your head up.
Head up.
Yeah.
Eyes
forward. And if you're in an unfamiliar place, take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. Slow down. Ask people to carry things for you.
Yeah, your leftovers.
Be mindful.
Do we know if DBS or anything helps with falling or balance issues?
I'm
sure it's just overall.
I mean, it's just a progression of the disease, I think, because I used to not have any kind of balance issues. I used to be able to, just wasn't anything I had. When we used to practice, I was like, why are we practicing this? And now I'm like, oh, now I know why we were practicing that.
Yeah.
Good discussion.
So, actually, why don't you do our last 30 seconds?
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever done the last 30 seconds?
I've never been asked to do the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, great. All right, in our last 30 seconds, I'm going to leave you with this. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Be mindful. If you're in an unfamiliar area and it's even dark or you're carrying something, ask for help, even if you don't think you need it. But keep your head up, keep your eyes on the prize, and keep moving.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
Good job. Yay,
Sorry, we'll
Melissa.
have you do it some other
No,
time.
it's all right.
But no, you did a good job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job.